Hey guys, Nicole Cooper here, and I am back for Nick's Motivational Mondays. Last week I actually was traveling on a Monday and didn't get a chance to get my video in, so I'm playing catch up. But today I just wanted to shoot a quick video to share with a lot of you guys. You've actually been sending me some questions about building a business. You've just gotten started with building a business, or you are wanting to invest in building a business. It could be partnering up with me, or you have something else that you have going on outside of what it is that we're doing on the internet. It might be a storefront business or whatever it may be, but you're faced with some challenges financially. I got a couple of emails this week about that. Some people wanted to know, should they quit their jobs and focus full time on their business? Other people have given everything up to build their businesses, and they're dealing with challenges with healthcare, not being able to take care of their kids, potential eviction, and so many things that are going on. And I realize that this is a pressing question that a lot of people are faced with, and they don't quite know what to do. So here's the deal. I'm going to share with you what I feel in my heart is the best thing that most people should do in those circumstances. But at the same time, this is my opinion. I'm not a CPA. I'm not an attorney. I'm not someone that can give legal counsel or guidance or anything like that. But I am going to share with you from the heart some of the things that I feel are necessary for you to know so that you can be able to make some wise choices on behalf of your business, yourself, and your family. Now, as you guys know, I went through something similar to this where I lost everything for the sake of my business. I devoted and invested a lot of money in real estate. I just knew that it was going to be our golden ticket and that we were setting ourselves up for success. Little did I know we were setting ourselves up for losing everything. And it wasn't that I was making unwise choices. It's just that we didn't have as much of a protection plan as we thought we did. What do I mean by that? Well, guys, when you're first getting started in business, what happens is you're going to invest a boatload of money, right? No matter what it is, I'm an internet marketing based business, and I still invest a lot of money. I personally pay myself a 30% commission from the earnings that my company makes. And then 70% of that income goes back to keep my company alive. That covers things like taxes. It covers things like outsourcing and hiring help. It covers tools that we need. It covers any personal development products that we have to buy. It covers travel, when I have to travel for my business, operation expenses, and things like that. And so what I've come to learn over the years, guys, is that it costs to run a business. There are fees and expenses involved. And a lot of times when we think we're entrepreneurs, we feel like, oh, I just made $1,000. That's my $1,000 to go into my household. It's going to pay my rent. It's going to cover this, cover that. When in actuality, guys, there's always going to be overhead, whether it's a minimal amount of overhead. If you work an internet-based business and you're just paying for autoresponders, you're just paying for your monthly membership fees if you're part of our system that we're in, or any other things that are out there, but there are fees involved. When you want to leverage your business, you also are hiring help. There's certain people that you want to hire to do things for you so that you don't have to worry about doing everything about your business, especially the things that you're weak in. So there's always going to be some level of a budget required, which means that you need to have income coming in to sustain your household income. A lot of people want to quit their jobs because they get excited about their business opportunity, and they feel like, oh my gosh, I've seen X, Y, and Z make $20,000 a month, $10,000 a month, even $5,000 a month, and you're putting your hope in the fact that that will happen for you. The reality is that it can happen, you just don't know when. You don't know the distance and the time that it will take for your personal learning curve. You don't know the difference between your work ethic and the person that's making $10,000 and $20,000 a month, their work ethic. When you're just getting started as an entrepreneur, guys, there's tons of unexpected things that occur. There's unexpected expenses, there's unexpected delays, and there's unexpected learning curves that you're going to come face to face with. And the truth is that if you have other sources of income to sustain your household while you're working and building this business, is actually more beneficial. And the reason why is because it allows you to get out of the desperation zone. When you are only relying on this business, on your business that you're focused on to be your main source of income when you're just getting started, what happens is you get very desperate. You really can't afford the time that it's going to take to get your business built up successfully to start generating an income. And all of a sudden you can't focus because your attention's everywhere, because bill collectors are calling, you're potentially getting eviction notices. You're not able to feed your kids. You don't have health care. And so now all of a sudden you might have health bills and piling up and everything's falling apart. Next thing you know, You shut the door off from anything that can change your circumstances, because you get caught up in the desperation zone, and it also leads you to the depression zone. And so why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this to say that, listen, if you have a job, and you might hate your job. I mean, I know our industry promotes fire your boss. But the truth of the matter, guys, is that when you have something that can take care of your family, and you have a chance to invest a percentage of whatever you're bringing into your household into a business and work full-time on your job, but part-time on your fortune, it protects your family, it protects your mind, it protects you financially to keep you out of the desperation zone, so that you can really give your all into this industry and learn and build yourself up, get across the learning curve, and position yourself as confident. When you are broke, when you don't have any income coming in, when you're desperate to pay your bills, that translates in your body language, it translates in your action, your words, everything about you. It signifies desperation. And I always tell people, desperation repels success. So if you don't want to fail at what you're doing, and you want to be able to grow confidently in your skill sets and in your business venture, it does help to have other sources of income coming in. It is okay if you have to go back to work and you have to get a job. A lot of people are ashamed of that they stepped out as an entrepreneur and they ended up having to go back to work and work for the man. But be grateful that you have that as an option, but also don't get confident or comfortable and always relying on that. Let that be motivation for you to say, okay, I'm gonna work this job, but even though I have a smaller window of time to focus on my business, I'm gonna be diligent in that window of time. I think a lot of times when people have so much going on and they only have a smaller window of time to get things done, they're probably a little bit more focused than that person that's at home full time all day long, staring at the computer on Facebook trying to figure out, okay, what should I be doing now to make money? So my point in sharing this with you guys is this: if you have to go back to work so that you can take care of your family and put your pride aside, especially if you have little ones, guys, that need to be fed. You know, I had someone share with me that they have a child that has special needs and they don't have health care. Please don't let that child suffer because of your ego or concern about what other people are thinking, and you neglect that child's needs because you want to prove to the world that you can make your business work. Guys, sometimes there are circumstances that arise to let us know that we might need to change and go in a different direction. It doesn't mean you quit what you're doing, but you might need to quit how you're doing it. You might need to change how you're doing it. Sometimes, guys, there might be signals and things that are going off to tell us that we need to be more mindful of our spending habits. You know, we get this income coming in from our job. You might have a good month. You might make $5,000 in 1 month, and you might think, oh gosh, I've arrived. And you expect every single month to be that way, but next month it might go down to $2,000. So what you have to learn how to do is, when I get that $5,000 in, I have to learn to segment that income and start putting a protection plan in place, so that if things aren't as good next month, I can still be able to sustain my business and sustain my household. And that boils down to knowing your numbers, knowing your expenses. And even in knowing those things, guys, sometimes you gotta cut some things off. Cut cable off. If you are struggling financially, you know you're investing a lot of time and energy and effort into your business, cut cable off. If you have a house phone and a cell phone, you might need to cut the house phone off. If you have, you spend ridiculously eating out, and you know that you don't really have the budget for groceries, you don't need to be eating out. You don't need to be traveling. You don't need to be spending like you are still in your previous financial position that you were in when you used to could afford to do those things. So guys, here's my tip. I'm kind of sharing a lot in a little bit. But my first suggestion is, if you're struggling financially with building a business, and you're saying to yourself that you don't know if you should go back to work because you don't want to be embarrassed about the fact that you had to go back to a job after trying to build your own business, please get over the ego and the pride and think about the welfare of your family. Think about the fact that your children need to eat. Think about the fact that you need to keep a shelter over your head. At the end of the day, you cannot build a business without your bare necessities being there for you. If you're living in a shelter, which I've known people even doing that, losing it all for the name of building a business, you don't have any sense of security or comfort, and that plays with your self-esteem. It plays with your confidence. It definitely puts you in desperation zone, and that tends to repel people from success So don't get yourself to that point where you're all the way in the shelter before you realize, oh, maybe I should go and do something to make sure that at least we can keep the bare necessities for our family. The second thing is that if you do have an opportunity to go back to work, but be diligent in the time that you have to invest in your business. A lot of people might say, well, I don't have the energy. I have kids. I have a full-time job. How can I begin to work on my business? Guys, Jim Rohn always used to say, you work full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. When you are at work, there's a lot of things and ideas that are going to come to your mind that you're going to say, well, maybe I should focus on, when I get home, doing X, Y, and Z, and that'll help me get closer to success. If you start jotting down things that you know are going to get you closer to your goals, and you get home and you have an hour window or 2 hour window, guys, devote that time just to that. You cut out the social media time of playing around on Facebook or, watching YouTube videos and things like that, and make sure you get your income producing activities done. And know that, yes, you're gonna lose sleep. There are gonna be nights where you might only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep. I'm not saying that's the healthy thing to do, but there's going to be some sacrifices that need to be made. There are going to be weekends where you might not be able to go run errands like you normally do. You might have to divide that time up and get some of your business activities done and postpone some of the going to the movies or hanging out at a girlfriend's house or picnicking in a park. There might be some things that you have to limit to put a little bit more time into your business as a sacrifice to get you closer to that goal, but it's going to be well worth it. And then the third thing is that you're going to need to scale back. A lot of times people talk about they're struggling financially and that they're having a hard time and they're all over the place with a lot of their financial challenges. The truth is that you don't know how to manage money. A lot of us are out here frivolously blowing money. We feel like we deserve to do the things that we do, but at the end of the day, it's costing us. You having cable, and if you have movie channels, premium movie channels, and you can barely pay your rent or your mortgage, you need to cut that stuff out. If you have a cell phone plan where it's excessive, you got a data plan and all these different things. I know sometimes we get connected and hooked to our little iPhones and things like that, but if it's gonna help you be able to keep a roof over your head, then you need to scale back on some things. Eating out, traveling, if it's based on business and you know it's gonna be beneficial to your business, then yes, make the sacrifice and make the investment. But once again, you're going to have to cut some things back so that you can be able to afford to do that for your business. Now, does all of this mean that you're giving up on your dream of building a business? Absolutely not. Guys, it just means that you're being wise about your approach in doing it. It's so challenging when you get so deep into debt and so deep into a rut to keep working and try to dig yourself out versus being wise and being able to maintain what you have, cutting back on some things, even downsizing. Some of you guys are in mortgages that you can't afford anymore. You might need to let your house go and move back into an apartment. You're going to have to probably go back to renting and doing some things differently, but it's because you're being wise about the opportunity to really build on that dream. You don't want to bury that dream from not having wisdom, but you're putting yourself in position to build on that dream. So I'm hoping that I'm helping some of you out there today because yes, I am an entrepreneur. I do make a great deal of income. I actually probably never really, I can't say I've never had a job. I've never had a real job before, but I always was willing to hustle. I would go wait tables and do what I need to do. I would substitute teach. When I started learning skills online, I began to take the things that I was learning and I started working for other people. I became a virtual assistant. I became a writer for people. I started building blogs for people. I started taking my skill set and investing it into actually building an income so that I can sustain in my business and focus on learning and growing in my business until I was able to start producing income and produce a profit. So I wasn't always here and I wasn't always in a position where I could afford to stay in business. I had to get creative with how I generated income. And today, if that happened to me again, guys, I would go clean people's houses. I would go wait tables again. I would do whatever I needed to do to sustain, but I wouldn't sit here with so much pride to the point where I'm scared or ashamed to let people know that I need to take care of my family and suffer. And then in the end, lose everything because I'm so caught up in this ego of proving to the world that I can do it, that I put my family in jeopardy. So hope this helps you guys for today. I've had quite a few of those situations come across my lap this week with many of you reaching out to me, asking me, should you quit your job and focus full time? And how long will it take for you to make money? And the truth is, you don't know how long it's going to take for you to make money. You're hoping it happens fast, and it can happen fast, but sometimes there's delays. You might be the delay. that might be holding yourself back. And there might be a lot of mental bondage that you're caught up in that you need to be released from before you can really get results. So doesn't mean it's not going to work. I do believe that you can have a great deal of success, but if you implement these things that I'm sharing with you, you would actually be able to experience a totally different level of confidence in working full-time on your job, but part-time on your fortune. All right, so hope this helps you guys, and look forward to hearing success stories, but also look forward to hearing that this is helping you to be able to make sure that those little mouths that you have are being fed and taken care of, and their lives aren't being put in jeopardy, because we got to take care of our babies despite our dreams and our goals. They need to eat, they need a roof over their heads, and I hope that you make sure you focus on doing that for them first. All right? Okay, guys, so see you on next week's Nick's Motivational Monday, and I look forward to hearing your success stories, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye-bye.